There's a lot of conversations about who is and isn't speaking out against the debacle of the Olympic ceremony, which, by the way, has since been wiped from the official Olympic YouTube page. A fake apology has been issued. Well, someone I didn't expect to speak out about this is Stephen A. Smith. This is on his own YouTube channel, so this isn't officially from his platform. Decided to say a whole lot about it, and I'm kind of here for it. All right, so let's see what Stephen A. Smith said.
You should be sorry. And let me tell you why you should be sorry. Because you should have made that intent clear before it happened. You should have made sure it wasn't depicting the Last Supper. You should have made sure nobody had the ammunition to say that it was. You should have made sure that in the process of all of that going on, that you highlighted exactly what it was supposed to be. Because, see, I got my own research here, okay? And I'm just reading. I got a one sheet right here in front of me. And I'm just reading from some of this stuff here. Obviously, it provoked outrage by religious conservatives around the world. According to them, and they're talking about all of this stuff. I want to remind y'all, drag artists, dancers, and others flanked Butch on both sides. Who is Butch? They're talking about DJ and producer Barbara Butch, an LGBTQ plus icon who calls herself, quote unquote, the love activist. Butch was wearing a silver headdress that looked like a halo as she got the party going on a footbridge across the Seine. Drag artists, dancers, and others flanked her on both sides. This is according to a CBS News correspondent by the name of Elaine Cobb reporting the specific part of the ceremony that caused the offense. She says was in fact a scene depicting Dionysus, the Greek god of wine. It was reportedly based on the Feast of the Gods, a 17th century painting by Dutch artist Jan Hermans van Bilgert that hangs in the Magnan Museum in Dijon, Eastern France. It depicts an assembly of Greek gods on Mount Olympus for a banquet to celebrate the marriage of Thetis and Peleus. The figure seated at the table in the center has a halo of light behind his head. Thomas Jolly, the opening ceremony director, insisted in an interview with France's BFM TV that, quote, the Last Supper was not the inspiration behind the scene, explaining that Dionysus arrives at the table because he is the Greek god of celebration, adding that the particular sequence was entitled Festivity.
Okay. So pause. Yeah, let's Google that. My thing is, even if that's the case, no one thought that this may be misconstrued, and no one thought that this might be something that does not look anything like that. Y'all are full of it. You guys are full of it.
Like
this don't look anything like that.
Is this what we're talking about?
That doesn't look anything like. Go back to the one that had them next to each other. That one.
This one?
What are we looking at? Come on.
That's not even close.
Stop
son.
it. With the halo on the head? Cut it out. All right, go back to Stephen A. Smith.
What you were really aiming for was for the LGBT plus community to be embraced. Fair enough. Got no problems with that. But you do understand, while that appeals to an abundance of people the world over, it also serves to alienate a bunch of folks the world over.
Why is Stephen A. Smith
Stephen A. Smith.
the voice of reason in the room? Yeah, we get it. You're trying to virtue signal to the gays. All right, we understand. However, did you think that in you trying to virtue signal to the LGTV, you're going to alienate a bunch of folks who are not going to be okay with this?
Yeah.
And in America, there's an election that's about to take place. Why you think Speaker of the House Mike Johnson opened his mouth? So, once again, we can sit up there and see that, and we talked about how the games are supposed to be about the games.
Right.
And since there's athletes from all over the globe descending upon one venue to compete against one another, one would think that's inclusionary enough. The message of inclusion was sent.
Hello.
But we got to take it to another level, right?
Yep.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying there's tens of millions of people who will. And why would you want to take that risk when elections are coming up?
Hello.
I don't necessarily need, we don't need the election tie-in, but
Yeah.
it's still, it's a great point. Go ahead.
See, a lot of times in life, we want our cake and we want to eat it too. And what I mean by that is that we want it all. All at once. My attitude would have been looking at the political landscape, the potential fallout from such a scene and an event, and I would have deduced in my mind how advantageous this is or how problematic it could be.
You would count the cost.
That's just me.
You would count the cost.
Because I want the results that I want. Not just to speak, not just to vent, not just to just express myself.
Come on.
I want the results I want.
He's got that church delivery,
Oh, yeah.
that sermon delivery.
And that's what I think got lost in all of this. Every single word they said, I don't think can be disputed in terms of their intent. So why didn't you tell us beforehand? Surely you must have had an idea that people would have reacted to this.
Here's the thing, though. Even the idea of intent, wasn't it like the empathy crowd who said it's not about the intent, it's about the impact? So even if your intent was we want to embrace the rainbow community, okay, fine. Maybe that's your intent. You want them to feel represented. But yeah, if the impact is rage and anger because it looks like you're mocking Christians, you were measured by our impact, not just our intent. Isn't this the whole premise of implicit bias and saying things that are what is that called? Microaggressions and all those things about like you're unconsciously racist by not knowing that you're racist, right? Like, which I think there could be some validity to that stuff, but doesn't that got to go both ways? Like that's only relevant in the context of race and sexual orientation, but then people's faith is totally you don't extend those same. That's the thing is like rules for thee and not rules for me. We want everybody to walk on eggshells around certain communities because you might indirectly, unintentionally offend somebody without even knowing it and then be labeled a bigot.
Yep.
But when it comes to people of faith, you could do and say whatever you want.
Surely you must have had an idea that people would have reacted to this. You had conservatives talking about how they had their children watching the opening ceremonies and didn't know that's what they were going to see.
Come on. Give us a warning. Tell me this is a NC-17 show. This is a rated R show.
Yep.
And I saw some of the dancing. I'm an adult. I saw some of the dancing that was going out there. I saw somebody, just because you paint somebody in blue don't mean they ain't naked.
One time.
If that's not just the takeaway of the
That's
century,
the takeaway of the
for all
century.
of the LGTV world is just like, hey, look, you can't just paint yourself.
You can't just paint yourself a color and say they're not.
And be like, I'm wearing clothes.
That's it. That's the takeaway.
That's it.
That's the takeaway. One time for Stephen A. Smith. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.